Next one. What are the factors which are favoring the formation of ionic bond? So here what we are discussing is under what conditions the ionic bond is formed easily. That's what we are discussing. Factors favoring the formation of ionic bond. So for that one, we need to discuss separately factors favoring the formation of cation as well as factors favoring the formation of anion. So first let us discuss about the factors which favors the formation of cation. One is atomic size, and the factor is large atomic size is the favorable condition for the formation of the cation. I'll give you a simple example. So this is larger atom A, this is a smaller atom B. Now tell me from the picture, among A and B, which of them can easily lose electron? Yes, what's the answer? It's A. Why it's A? Because whenever the size is more for larger atoms, the distance between the nucleus and the valence electron is more. And when the distance between the nucleus and valence electron is more, the electron is loosely held by the nucleus. So definitely it has more tendency to come out. But what is this case? Because of less distance between the nucleus and electron, the electron is held more tightly when compared to that of the example A. So that is the reason why the tendency of this particular electron to come out is less. So what should be the factor? Larger the atomic size, easy the formation of the cation. If I give a specific example of 1A group metals, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium ion formation. Now we know that the sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, as we move from top to bottom, they belong to the same group. Atomic size increases. So sodium ion is the smallest one and cesium ion is the largest one. So whenever the size increases, definitely the tendency to lose electron increases. What is the ease of formation? Sodium ion is formed with less ease than potassium ion, rubidium and cesium. So the one which is formed more easily is among these four options. That is nothing but cesium ion. Let's move to the next factor. It is low ionization energy. First let us understand once again what is ionization potential. Ionization potential or the ionization energy is nothing but the minimum amount of energy required. The minimum amount of energy required to remove an electron. Isn't it? To remove an electron from the outermost orbit of a gaseous, neutral, isolated atom. So what is the amount of energy required to remove an electron from the outermost orbit of an atom? That is called as ionization energy. So I will give you an example, then tell me under what condition or what should be the ionization potential value for the formation of the cation. One is sodium, second one potassium. The ionization potential of sodium is 117.9 kilocalories per mole. The ionization energy of potassium is 100 kilocalories per mole. Now from the value of IP, can you tell me in which case whether it is sodium or potassium easily converted into its ion? Yes, what will be the answer? Is it sodium? No, it's potassium. Because completion of the process or conversion of the atom into ion by using less amount of energy is always easy. Because we're talking about the favorable conditions. So supplying less amount of energy and removing the electron by using less amount of energy is always easy when compared to supplying or using more amount of energy. So that is the reason why the metal which possesses low ionization energy, that is easily forming cation. Then low charge on the ion. Now let us take the example. Sodium, magnesium, then aluminum. Now what is the difference between these three? Or what is the similarity between these three first? All these are of the same isoelectronic series. What is the meaning of isoelectronic series? They will be having same number of electrons but different nuclear charge. Now what is the different here? The different here is nuclear charge. So this is having only +1 charge, this is having +2 charge, this is having +3 charge. Now here sodium is getting +1 charge, means here we are removing only 1 electron, isn't it? Here magnesium, from magnesium we are removing 2 electrons. And from aluminum we are removing totally 3 electrons. Tell me which process is easy? Is it removing 1 electron easy or removing 2 electrons or removing 3 electrons? Always removing 1 electron requires less amount of energy, isn't it? So this is easy process. So the ion with low charge is formed more easily than the ion with high charge. And let me explain the more appropriate example. So here sodium ion is formed more easily than magnesium ion, then Al3+ ion. Let me take Al3+ as an example and let me explain more appropriately here. Now, when aluminium is converted into its unipositive ion by the loss of one electron, and that unipositive ion is again converted into dipositive ion, and the dipositive ion is converted into the tripositive ion. Now tell me, among these three, which of the process is easy, or all the process takes place with same ease? What will be the answer? Which of the following process is easy? What's the answer? First tell me whether all the process takes place with same ease or not. No. Even though in all the cases we are removing only one electron, we cannot do the process with the same ease because the difference is charge. Now take this particular example of Al2+. When compared to Al+, in Al2+, the positive charge is more. We know that whenever the positive charge on the nucleus is more, the electrons are held more tightly by the nucleus. Isn't it? What's the meaning of Al2+? Their atomic number of aluminum is 13 and the 13 protons exist in the nucleus, and Al2+ means out of 13, 2 electrons are already removed. It is having 11 electrons. So more positive charges are attracting less negative charges. So definitely the attraction will be more, or the electrons are held more tightly by the nucleus. So that is the reason removing of electron from Al2+ is difficult when compared to removing the electron from Al+ and Al. So what will be the one? From Al+ is formed more easily. So always the ion with low charge is formed more easily than the ion with high charge. That is a more appropriate example. Let's go for one more factor favoring the formation of the cation. What is it? That is electronic configuration. So here the favorable factor is ions with inert gas configuration. They are formed more easily than the ions with pseudo inert gas configuration. So for cations we come across two types of electronic configuration. Let me explain that one first. What is inert gas configuration? Inert gas configuration means presence of 8 valence electrons. Isn't it? Anyhow you know it. Then what is the meaning of pseudo inert gas configuration? Pseudo means false. So what is the meaning of pseudo inert gas configuration? Presence of 18 valence electrons. That is called as pseudo inert gas configuration. This one we also call it as nickel group configuration also. We also call it as nickel group configuration because nickel in outermost orbit has 18 valence electrons. If you remove the electrons from the 4s. Now, inert gas configuration and pseudo inert gas configuration. Among all the known configurations, which is the most stable configuration? Definitely it is inert gas configuration. So that is the reason why the cations with inert gas configuration, they are formed more easily than the cations with pseudo inert gas configuration. Let us take an example. Take the case of calcium ion formation. So what is the atomic number of calcium? 20. How do you write the electronic configuration? 2, 8, 8, 2. Isn't it? After the removal of 2 electrons, means once these 2 electrons are lost, it possesses 8 valence electrons. Now take the case of zinc ion. Zinc atomic number is 30. So after losing 2 electrons, this electronic configuration of zinc originally 2, 8, 18, 2. So after losing 2 electrons, it has 18 valence electrons. So this is called as pseudo inert gas configuration. When compared to presence of 18 valence electrons, 8 valence electron configuration is more stable. So both are formed, but calcium ion is formed more easily when compared to the zinc ion. That's what we are discussing. So what are the 4 factors related to the favoring cation formation? One is large size. What is the second one? Low ionization potential. What is the third one? Low charge on the ion. And the fourth one is inert gas configuration. These are the 4 factors favoring the formation of the cation. Now let's see what are the factors favoring the formation of the anion. And here is the first factor. Again the heading is atomic size, but it is different. That is a small atomic size, or the small size is a favorable condition for the formation of anion. Let us see an example. When you take atom A and atom B, out of these two, which of them can easily accept electron in order to form an anion? Yes? It is A. Why? Because of small size, this nucleus has more influence on its valence shell. So it has a more tendency to accept electron when compared to B. So when we take fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine, when we consider only atomic size as the factor, when we consider only atomic size as the factor, this is how the atomic size increases. And as the atomic size increases, the tendency to accept electron decreases. So that is the reason fluorine should be easily converted into F minus ion, then Cl, then Br, then iodine. So ease of formation of F minus ion is the maximum and I minus ion is the minimum. The next one, electron affinity. So electron affinity is nothing but the tendency of an atom to accept electron. Electron affinity is nothing but the tendency of an atom to accept electron. So it's there in the heading itself. The one which is having high electron affinity, it has more tendency to accept electron. Suppose when we take the case of chlorine and bromine, so electron affinity of chlorine is more when compared to that of the bromine. So definitely the tendency to accept electron for chlorine is more, and it easily converts into Cl minus ion than the conversion of bromine into Br minus ion. Last factor for the formation of anion. It is again the same heading, charge on the ion. So both for cation and anion, in terms of charge on the ion, low charge is a favorable condition. Means when we take the case of formation of F minus, O2 minus and N3 minus ion, which is formed more easily, F minus ion is formed more easily than O2 minus ion, then N3 minus ion. Why it is so? Here it is accepting only one electron, here it is accepting two electrons, and it is a process where three electrons are involved. Now let us understand better by taking oxygen as an example. So oxygen, after accepting one electron, it is converted into O minus ion. And when that O minus ion accepts one more electron, that is converted into O2 minus ion. Now tell me, among these two processes, which is more easier one? Which is more easier one? Is it 1 or 2? I say it is 1. Why this is more easy process? Or why this one is difficult? Because the O minus ion, this is already a negatively charged particle. To a negatively charged particle, whenever we are adding another negatively charged particle, there exists some resistance, isn't it? There exists some repulsive forces between them. So in order to overcome the repulsive forces and forcefully send this electron into this particular atom, we need energy. So we need energy to send this second electron into the oxygen atom. So it is a difficult process. And adding first electron to oxygen is easy because whenever we are adding one electron to the oxygen, in that process energy is released. So addition of one electron is always easy because it is not having any charge. There is no such repulsion or no more repulsions as that in the uni-negative ion or the di-negative ion. So what are the conclusion for the anion favoring factors? One should be the small size, so easy accepting of the electrons. Second one is the high electron affinity. And what is the third factor? It is nothing but the low charge on the ion. So these are the three factors favoring the formation of the anion.